Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to lesson 7.9. Today, we are actually looking at patterns. You've done patterns for a long time, right? But these patterns are going to be a little bit different using some of the things that we have been learning. So let's just look at what we start with here, what we have here, and what we have here. And before I ask you that question, let's just ask you, what are you noticing about these three items? Okay, one thing I notice is that they are rectangles. I notice that they are getting bigger. I do kind of notice some other things, but I want to save those for you guys because I want to ask you what would be next. So describe for me the next item, right? Whatever we should draw right here. All right, let's talk about this. Okay, so what we can notice that these are arrays, they're rectangles, right? Each array has an even number of cubes. This one has 2, right? This one has 6. This one has, 12. Okay, those are even numbers. We can notice those things. We can notice that each array adds 1 row and 1 column. So what I mean by that is this one is 1 tall and 2 wide. This one is 2 tall and 3 wide. I could say long, right? Here we have 3 and 4. Okay, you're getting some ideas here for what might the next one be. What would come next? All right, so we remember the height, 1, 2, 3. So we would need one that would be 4 tall. And look, we've got a picture of that right here. Bloop. See how it's 4 blocks tall and 5 blocks wide. And I'm sure as you're predicting, well, let's just add another one, right? Here's 5 blocks tall and 6 blocks wide. When we put numbers to those, we had 2 here, we had 6, we had 12. Here we would have 5 times 4. Remember, these are arrays, equals 30. How much is in this one? Well, let's see. 6 times 5 equals 30. Did I say 30 before? I meant 20 when I said that, though. Okay, so take a look, right? These are rectangular number patterns. Okay, these are all arrays for rectangular numbers. Rectangular numbers are numbers that can be represented by rectangular arrays. So 2 is a rectangular number. So is 6. So is 12, right? Any number that we can create a rectangular array out of. Now, remember, and this lesson was a long time ago, we did this same kind of lesson, but with square numbers. Okay, what do you remember about square numbers? Square numbers are arrays that can be created into a square, right? Where the length and the width are the same, right? So we could take this one right here. This one is the number 16, and it is 4 times 4. Here we have 25. It is 5 by 5. Okay, so these are square numbers, right? Just like 1, 4, 9, 36. And so today we're looking at patterns in rectangular numbers. And that's what the goal is. I will analyze patterns in rectangular numbers. And we're in a standard where we're looking for structures. We need an H there. Okay, including categories, patterns. There's that word, patterns, and properties. So now let's look at the multiplication equations we can write to represent these arrays. So we have, this one is 1 tall and 2 wide, right? These are the first ones that you saw. So we have 2 times 1 equals 2. What are these two numbers called? Yeah, they're called factors. There's that word that we've seen since the very beginning of the year. Here we have the factors. This is the, not answer, it's the product. Okay, when you're multiplying, you have factors, you multiply them, and you get a product. So here's our factors. 3 times 2 equals 6. So we can look at the factors in these rectangular arrays. Well, let's do some here. We're going to write the multiplication equations to represent these arrays. Here we have 3 tall, right, times 4 equals 12. What would this multiplication problem be? Did you say 4 times 5 equals 20? Okay, and what about this one? What's the multiplication problem? We would do 5 times 6 equals 30. So look what's happening. 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6. Just because I'm curious, can you figure out what would be the next multiplication equation? Okay, if you make each one of these numbers bigger, we would have 6 times 7 equals 42. And then we could keep going. We would have 7 times 8 equals 56. We're adding 1. In this pattern, we're adding 1 to each of the factors. Hey, we're looking for these patterns today. So as you go through this, okay, this is going to be your math journal page. Let's go ahead and open up to page 252. So first thing we're going to do is to draw the next 3 rectangular numbers. Well, we're going to do 1 here while we're here, right? And we have dots here, but the dots are similar to the boxes that we were looking at. Okay, we have 2 times 1 equals 2, right? This is what this array is. In fact, let's write that down underneath here. Actually, I'm going to write the 1 first because it's 1 times 2. Now we have 2 times 3. 3 times 4. These are all ones that we've just seen. 4 times 5. And so here we're going to have 5 times 6. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit so that I can draw this a little bit better. We need to have 5 dots tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, mine aren't exactly on there, but you know where they go. And 6 to the side. So we've already got 1. Now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I just need to fill all of these in. Yours will be a little bit better than mine because it's kind of hard for me to click the exact spot here with my finger on the computer. That one was off. But it's going to look like this. Yours will look a little bit better. So this is the next one. You need to do the next one and the next one. And then you will continue the list here of rectangular numbers. Now, this says to put the first 10 rectangular numbers. Well, you're only going to have, right, here's 2, here's 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're only going to have 7 on your chart here, but you're going to have to use that thinking to think, well, what would be numbers 8, 9, and 10? You'll describe how you got your answers right here. Okay, so you'll be writing a sentence, complete sentence there. And then we're going to take away the pictures. Actually, these really kind of do go with the pictures. You're going to be looking here at this pattern, describing it, and seeing if you can answer these 2 questions down at the bottom. This goes back to square numbers, and we just talked about that earlier in the video, so you can always go back and check. All right, it's all about patterns today. We are analyzing patterns in rectangular numbers. If you need any help with anything, reach out and let me know. And good luck.